అందరికీ నమస్కారం. అందరికీ నమస్కారం. వణక్కం. Good morning, everyone. On my way here, Rajan told me that you have students from all over the country. But sorry, that's the only number of languages that I can say good morning to you all. Many times I'm invited to give a message to students, and I'm a lot tensed up because my knowledge is very sparse, very limited in the field of cinema, let alone the rest of the subjects. So imparting my half-baked knowledge to students, I feel very tensed up. Don't think I'm being humble. I'm not a humble person. I'm a very egoistic person, but at the same time, I'm a very practical person. But what I realized is the real knowledge you gain, the people gain, is out of truth. If you can take out all the spotlights, the glitz and glamour away, and if you can look at truthfully at any subject, and that is where you can gain a lot of knowledge that can be really useful to you. I had many experiences in my life, good, bad, whatever, and I have chosen certain paths in my career which helped me, which worked for me. The same kind of things might help you, might not help you, I don't know, but it is up to you how you would take it. So the ongoing question and answer session, I'll try to be as truthful to you, whatever question you ask, in whichever field, whichever time period of my lifeline, whatever you want to ask, you can ask. I'll try to be as truthful as possible and give you, and from that, if you can gain something that you can apply to your life, I'll be very, very happy with it. Thank you very much. So I think I'm done. I'm ready for the question. And one more thing before we go, before we go into the question and answer session. Coming to these kind of sessions, meeting people, I don't come here to do some kind of social service. It is my own selfish cause. Whenever I interact with you people, with students especially, I gain a lot of energy. I go back home with a lot of energy to work more, work harder. So it is my selfish cause that I come here, not to do any kind of social cause. And I can't think of anything else.
Morning, sir. This is Abhinav Bharadwaj from First CPB. Sir, CPB would like to ask you that from Ega to Mantir and to Bahubali, these are some of the movies that you scripted, and they went on to be the epitome of what technological and innovational success is, and how a movie which does not belong to a contemporary world can still be a money spinner. So what drives you to make such films? If you have to distill it down to one motivational force, what would that be? What makes you carve a niche every time on every one of us sitting out here? Thank you.
Can I have a mic, please? Can I have a mic? If you have one. Standing in the corner is making me very... Yeah, this is much better. Thank you. One most factor. What did you ask? One most important factor. What motivates me? This motivates me. The kind of applause that I get from when my film plays in the theater is what drives me to make cinema. I was a storyteller as long as I can remember. When I was a small kid in my second standard or third standard itself, I started telling stories. I didn't know I was going to become a director at that point of time, but I was telling stories in my class, and I don't remember what stories I told them, but what I remember is the rapt attention on my friends' faces. To this date, I can't forget those faces. The kind of shock or happiness that they get when I'm telling the stories, that is what motivates me. And to this day, whenever I work on a story, whenever I make a film, constantly I think about what kind of response I'm going to get out of that particular scene or a song or a fight or whatever. So that keeps on motivating me. Thank you.
Good morning, sir. I'm Yesa from Journalism Honors. I wanted to ask you, as the father spoke, language does not restrict what we see in media. But as a director, do you feel whenever your movies are dubbed in different languages, do things get lost in translation? And if you've watched have you watched any of your own movies dubbed in another language? And does it feel different? And does the meaning ever change, or does something get lost?
Yes, sometimes it gets lost because each language has its own nuances, each language has its own beauty. So whenever you shoot a film, when you write a film in one language and try to dub into other, some nuances gets lost. But what we should see is whether the soul is getting lost or not. No, you can't get everything perfectly right into the dubbing. But if your story, what you wanted to convey to the audience, if the emotion is getting across, then that is the best thing that you can get. In my films, initially I didn't take too much of care in dubbing because it was done by someone else, but from films like Iga and Bahubali 1 and 2, I was particularly there to see, even though I don't understand the rest of the languages, I was there to see each and every dialogue and get to know what exactly it means. And I was taking a little bit more care in the dubbing. So I think in Iga and Bahubali 1 and 2, you see a better dubbing than the other films.
Hello. Good afternoon, sir. My name is Siddharth. I have two short questions for you. There are a lot of successful directors in the country. What differentiates you from the rest? And the second question is a very selfish one. Is Bahubali 3 on the cards?
I think it is natural that we give a lot of importance to success, but it is also very important that we shouldn't give so much of importance to the success. I really mean it. I know I'm here because of my success, but keeping that aside, what you should really look at is whether you are being happy in the process of making whatever you are making. The success or failure comes later. Now, for example, take my field of film. We make a film for 1 year, 2 years. So the journey of making a film is 2 years. The success or failure is just 2 weeks. So you can't worry about 2 weeks of your life compared to 2 years of your life. So what you need to look at is whether you are really enjoying every day in the process of making a film, in my case. So I don't know what's the difference between me and the other directors, because I personally don't know what they do and how they work. But I think we should take away the focus from the success and look at the way we are working. As for me, I enjoy every day of my shoot. I long to go to my day of shoot, to my day of work. So that is about me. That is about me. And Bahubali Part 3 is See, when we started making Bahubali, we knew it was a very different kind of project because we were, at that time, I think 80 crores was the biggest hit. The market was 80 crores. No? And we started with putting in 120 crores or something. It's crazy. The numbers just don't add up. So it is not a regular project. Then why we went ahead is because we had a fantastic story, we had fantastic characters, and we really wanted to tell that story to the people. And we knew the market was not there, so we went ahead and created a market for the film. We created a fan base for Bahubali. Why we really did is that because we had that story. And the story that we wanted to tell is over with Bahubali 1 and 2. It's done. Yes, now we have a big market, we have a big fan base. But if I know just by announcing Bahubali 3 and getting my co-director to make the film, I can make a lot of money. But that wouldn't be an honest filmmaking.
Hello, sir. I'm here in the balcony. Yeah. I'm Archana from MSc Counseling Psychology. And first of all, thank you so much for giving us such a wonderful movie, Bahubali, and the characters and the actors were really good. And my question is, what made you believe that these actors are the real ones who can give life to your characters in your mind?
Yeah, it is not just a one-day decision of casting that particular actors for that particular roles, right? It was a long process. So in that process, with some actors I had a long relationship, like Prabhas and Anushka. I knew them for a long time. And some people like Satyaraj Garu or Ramakrishnan Garu, we knew their capabilities based on their previous experiences. So it was a long discussion to whom to cast, whom to bring in for this particular characters. It was long discussions based on our past experiences, based on their past records, or records in the sense whatever they performed. Based on that is what we how the casting was done. Of course, a little bit slightly different in case of Prabhas, because Prabhas was on board. During Chhatrapati time itself, we became good friends. We used to talk about so many things about life, and he knew that I had this big dream of doing a big war film, and he knew how I wanted to do it. He knew my passion for that kind of subject, and he was always supporting me in that particular dream. And somewhere in the path, I decided that he's going to be my hero for that particular kind of war film, even before Bahubali thought came. So that's how it happened.
Good morning, sir. I'm Deeksha from One CP. I just want to ask as to how you managed to keep the hype up for the movie. Like in Andhra, we saw like continuously for 1 year people were waiting for part 2. So just wanted to ask how you managed to keep the hype.
I didn't manage to do it. Very honestly, the original idea was to shoot the entire part, 2 parts at one go, and release the 2 films with 3 months apart or just 6 months apart. That was the original idea. But by the time we finished shooting part 1, all the money was over. We couldn't shoot part 2. So we were forced to take that 2-year gap. Not that because we wanted to, not that because we had some brilliant idea like that. We were forced to do that, and we were really scared whether people would remember the film for 2 years. So we didn't know that. And somehow we didn't even start Vaikatapa Bahubali. We didn't start it. You started it. You guys started with your memes, with your and we thought, okay, good, let's continue this, let's make something out of it because people want to